Hi guys, welcome to my new desk. I'm a little bit obsessed. A brand called Flexi Spot sent me this desk. This is possibly the best PR thing that I've ever received. I have had it for 2 days and it's amazing. I knew of standing desks. I just didn't realise how much difference it would make until I actually had one. Let's go and make some coffee. I often feel with these vlogs, and I know I've expressed this before, but I often feel like from the outside looking in, I probably appear to be just falling apart, and this is like the diary of a crisis. I am absolutely plagued by self-doubt, constantly worrying about what I put out there. Should I be this raw and honest? Should I try to be more positive? And I do frequently start the week thinking, okay, that's enough of that. We're going to just, people don't want to hear this. I look for escapism online. I don't want necessarily mirrored back to me how I'm feeling. I want like just to feel good. And I want like positive, shiny, happy, sparkly is what I want. But then very occasionally it is nice to see someone kind of falling apart a little bit and you feel less alone and you feel like, okay, yes, I like the shiny, happy, sparkly, but we can't be shiny, happy, sparkly people all the time. So I really am, I want to say am, but have been wrestling with that for probably the past year. How much should I share? Should I share a more censored version? I don't know. These vlogs used to be kind of fun and happy and whatever, of no consequence. And suddenly my mood shifting or my just constant need to share every waking thought is, it goes against that a little bit. But in actual fact, it was COVID that started this whole regular vlogging thing, especially on this channel. COVID is what kind of drew us together. I was using it as a coping mechanism. Initially, it was supposed to be a fun way to document what probably was going to be a few weeks at home. And then it ended up being a pandemic diary where a lot of us shared our ups and downs. And I, for one, really, really appreciated the back and forth. You know, when I share something like I did the other day, like this is just, I'm just not, I can't shake it off. I don't know what's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with me. And yet everything is wrong with me. I get some really great comments because it makes me feel less alone. And every time someone else says, I'm so glad you said that because that's how I'm feeling, it makes me feel like this is the right thing to do. This is, I should be sharing this, but you can't get out of the back of your mind. But should you though? Personality-wise, I'm not a feelings sharer. It's quite funny because if we were kind of sitting and talking over coffee, I would never, I'm fine. I'm always fine. I'm never someone who will tell you I'm having a rough time until I've been through the rough time and then I can kind of talk objectively about it without feeling like I'm reliving it. And so I don't know what the difference is. I don't know why I feel like I want to, or like it'll make me feel better to tell you guys. It's really strange. It is like that diary room phenomenon. It's like an offloading onto people who aren't there. I suppose it's like a therapy session. Kind of is like a therapy session that you guys never signed up for and are not getting paid. Anyway, all that is to say, I've come to the conclusion that this is just who I am. And I'm going to just stop worrying about oversharing because I've always been an oversharer. Always, always, always. I think what makes me feel uncomfortable is that I'm sharing a lot of feeling stuff right now and I'm not a feelings sharer. And the pandemic has made me into a ball of feelings and I don't like it. Everything I read about Aquarians, which is what I am, just fits so perfectly. Like, let's never ever show anyone any vulnerability. Let's just pretend to be okay all of the time. And so this is just very foreign and uncomfortable, but I'm leaning into it and you will all suffer the consequences. In other news, this is not a hairstyle, although it could be. It is my heatless hair tutorial, which I'm finally going to do. I also need at some point today to go to, I was going to go to HomeSense and I just don't know. I just, you know, I can't be bothered. Cannot be bothered. No motivation to do anything. Was going to go to HomeSense and I'm like, ugh. I've even got a voucher to spend from Top Cashback. By the way, if you haven't signed up to Top Cashback, I will leave a link below, especially coming up to Christmas. Absolutely essential that you use something like this because it's throw your money. You just get cash back for things you were buying anyway online. Absolutely essential. So I will leave a link because I use it all the time and I just cashed out my cash back as a TK Maxx / HomeSense voucher because I want to buy some like autumnally fun, you know, next season decor stuff. And I cannot gather the enthusiasm to drive to HomeSense because it's a little way away. So I think I'm going to go to TK Maxx because it's closer. Even though I really want to go HomeSense. If that shows you where I am on the, like, what shows you where the needle is, can't be bothered to go to HomeSense. Now the funny thing is, I'm talking about metaphorically biting my tongue. And, you know, should I disclose as much as I do? Well, I literally bit my tongue. And you're going to need to prepare yourselves because I practically bit it off. This happened the night of filming the last vlog. So I had not had a good day, a good couple of days. Also, funny story, I watered the plants that day as well. And, you know, like the trigger thing for the hose pipe, that disconnected itself from the hose pipe and I was wet through. And I was so miserable and annoyed that I still went out for my walk. An hour, I walked 4 miles, wet through because I was just angry and annoyed. And I was like, what is the point in even getting changed? So when I went to bed, I still had wet clothes on. Anyway, I was not having a good day. I made dinner and I bit my tongue. Most painful tongue biting incident of all time. And I thought I was just being a baby because I was just, you know, in a bad headspace. I was like, oh, just law of attraction thing. One thing after the other. If you're in a negative mindset, you believe that more negative things happen. And I was so angry with myself. I was like, why can't you just shake this off? And I just kind of put my finger on my tongue. And I said, like, oh, it's bleeding. Like, of course it is. I went to rinse my mouth out. And it was horrendous. There was so much blood. If you are queasy, you may want to look away as I actually show you what my tongue looks like 3 days later. You know, I actually decided against it. I looked at my tongue and was like, this is gross. And I'll show you really, really briefly, okay? And not even that close up, because it's just awful. Okay. Yeah. There were like multiple injuries. I don't understand how that happens to someone's tongue. The way this year is going, if I get into 2022 with all limbs, fingers and toes attached, it will be a miracle. But that's where I'm at right now. I actually was icing it on the, just even thinking about it. So yeah, I quite literally bit my tongue, aggressively eating my dinner. So of course I did. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to check in and say hi because it took me a couple of days to edit that vlog that I posted yesterday. And I am feeling a little bit better. I'm massively lacking motivation. Yesterday I didn't go for a walk at all. Yesterday was even worse than the day that I aforementioned. I did like 2,500 steps. By the time Lee got home, I just wanted to go to bed. And this is very kind of peak COVID for me. And I'm not comfortable. I don't like it. It's not something that I keep catching my tongue and it really hurts. It's not something that I am familiar with. And for those people who struggle with like anxiety or even depression on a regular basis, I don't even know how you function truly, because this is not that. And I'm struggling. So how you have coping mechanisms to recognize this is a period, this will pass, I will feel better again. And then you are able to feel better again, knowing that that could come again. I have just incredible respect for people who have to deal with that on a regular basis, because this is like a tiny percentage of just a low period, and I am struggling because I tend to be a positive person and COVID has ruined me. I know a lot of people are feeling like that right now, and maybe it is a change of the seasons thing. I don't know. But as plenty of people said to me in the comments and on Instagram DMs, we were chatting at length, just recognise the feeling, recognise that it won't last forever. You don't necessarily have to work through it or make yourself feel better. It just is right now. This is how you're feeling. Do what you need to do to make yourself feel as well as you can feel, and then you will eventually feel better. But I don't think you can necessarily do a tremendous amount. I think possibly in my case, the feeling of being out of control and not being able to fix it just prolongs it. So I'm leaning into it. I'm riding out the wave. And it will pass. But thank you for those of you who left comments. Thank you for those of you who've kind of reached out. And thank you for those of you who told me that it makes you feel better for me to talk like that, because sometimes I just feel like I feel like the way I am is wrong. But it is the way I am. It's who I am. I'm not going to change. And so thank you for accepting who I am.
Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me.